Hello. Hello. Welcome to video 59.
Yep,
This is on blocking.
blocking.
This is the last topic, I think, for experimental design. We'll do some examples of this in class, and then we'll look at some free response. And that's it. We made
Yeah.
it through another unit.
Let's
hit
get this
it.
done. Okay, so blocking. Sometimes in an experiment, groups of experimental units are similar.
Like males
Okay.
and females.
Yeah, and it's often a good idea to gather them together, and we call that a block.
Like a block of females and a block of males.
Yeah. And then we run the experiment just as you would do it on the whole population on each block. So you actually kind of do the experiment twice. Once on males, once on females.
Yeah, if you're testing a medication, you may think it behaves differently for males and females. So, in order to control that, we'll just separate them and do the experiment on
Right.
males and females separately.
Right. So you have a male control group and a female control group, vice versa on the treatment group.
So this is one way of dealing with a confounding variable that we may know about. So if we believe that gender makes a difference, then we'll run the experiment separately on gender.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is similar to stratified sampling, which we learned before break, and hopefully we remember.
I totally remember.
I don't think we're the ones that need to know though. All right. So here's a quick example from the book. Now we saw this in class. This is the map of our tomato plants that are grown from a garden store. Okay, so this is how we looked at the model already, right? We split the 24 into 3 groups, just randomly assigning plants to each group. There was a control group, a half-dose group, a full fertilizer group,
Yeah, so
and then
the
we
factor,
compared the results.
yeah, the factor was fertilizer, and there are 3 levels: no fertilizer, a half dose, and a full dose.
Right.
And then we compare.
So when we're going to add blocking here, so let's say we got these plants from 2 different stores,
Let's say.
and we found that that might be a problem.
Ooh, man, that definitely complicated things.
Yes. So now you can see, so each one of these, so this is one block, block A.
Yeah, when you think about
Okay.
that.
And they ran the whole experiment on block A. So let's block A, this is store 1.
Yeah, they're
Right.
from one store. Because maybe they're different, they were grown different places, or that might be the reason why they're different.
Right.
So that's why we have blocked. The thing they have in common is the store they came from. So we don't want store to be the issue. So we run the experiment on all the ones from one store, and then separately all the ones on the other store.
Right. Notice how each one of these maps is exactly the same. Just the only thing that differs is the counts. Because here they bought 12 plants at store 1, and we're at store, I think it's store B actually. But
Yeah.
store B, we bought 6 plants. So we broke it up 2, 2, 2, whereas this one's 4, 4, 4.
So what we're controlling is the variable, like where they came from, the
Yes.
store. So this is where we're dealing with that, separating them from one store from another. So hopefully that's no longer an issue.
Right.
Okay, that's the idea of blocking. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but
No.
because when you look at the diagram, it looks so ugly, we saved this for last.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So let's do a AP style question.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, go, Mr. Lewis, go.
All right. So here we have, as dogs age,
Like me.
diminished joint and hip health may lead to joint pain and
Don't
thus
you know it?
reduce a dog's activity level, or in that case, an old person's.
Yep.
Okay, a study is to be conducted to see which of 2 dietary supplements, glucosamine or chondroitin,
Both good.
is more effective in promoting joint and hip health and reducing the onset of canine osteoarthritis.
Right.
All right, here's our big words for the day. Researchers will randomly assign a total of 300 dogs from 10 different large vet practices around the country. Changes in hip joint and hip health will be evaluated after 6 months of treatment.
Okay.
Okay, so what we want, so rather than using a completely randomized design, one group of researchers proposed blocking on clinics, while another group of researchers proposed blocking on the breed of dog. And how would you decide which of these 2 would be used as a blocking variable?
Wow, Mr. Lewis, well, one thing I would say is maybe you have some sort of hunch whether the clinics really makes a difference at the clinic.
Yeah.
But if they're just giving him the medication, I don't know how much that makes a difference.
I don't think
at
the clinic is going to make sure.
Yeah.
as big of a deal.
I think the breed, like you have your little Chihuahua versus your big Labrador or your Pit Bull. So I think what we chose to do was block on the breed.
Yeah, I think breed works the best.
Yeah, because it was just giving a medication.
Right.
The clinics don't vary that much.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
they're not walking in and then beating the dog up and then giving
Yeah.
them medication.
Right.
So I think we're fine.
I
So-
hope not.
So here we would have our 300 dogs. Okay, so if we mapped this out, then this would go to. Now we don't know how many breeds there were,
True.
so we'll just go. I'll do a couple of rough examples. Then you guys can kind of figure it out. So here you'd have breed 1. Oops. Breed 2. Maybe you have your lab, your retriever, your pit bull, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so on and so forth. Until you get to your final breed. Okay, so then on each one of these, so let's just focus on breed 1 right now. So we'd have
Here's where the random assignment would come in.
right.
So it's definitely not random assignment to the blocks.
No.
That's due to something we know about breed.
Right.
But within the breed, now we'd want to randomly assign some to a treatment group and to like a placebo group.
Right. So then here would be, you give one the medication. Actually, well, it was 2 different drugs, right? So hang on. One would get the glucosamine or whatever, and this one would get the conditine, whatever.
Okay.
You get the idea. One gets one drug, one gets the other drug, and then we'd still slide over, and compare hip health, I guess.
How would you measure that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Does the dog?
That's why that's a good question.
Does the dog still jump on your bed or something? I don't know.
Maybe you can bark 1 time or 2 times or 3 times how
Yeah.
much it hurts.
Are you feeling great? I don't know. Woof.
So, like
yeah.
I said, that's why we always ask, what's the response variable? But a good practical question is, how are you going to measure it?
Right.
So, well, maybe they take an x-ray or something. I don't know. Maybe it's just the behavior of the dog.
And in each one of these, we would compare. So each one would look the same
Yeah.
going through.
So kind of like stratified sampling.
Yeah.
If we were taking a sample of dogs, we could sample them according to breed, and sample each breed. That's kind of a ridiculous example, but that's why it's like stratified example.
Right.
You break up the population into groups that have something in common and do a simple random sample of each group, each strata. This is kind of the same thing. We're breaking them up into blocks that have something in common and performing the experiment on each block.
Yeah, because if you just randomly assigned them, you might have a lot of, one type of dog that's doing really well where all the other ones are kind of just doing average or the same as they normally were doing, and it could skew your results.
No.
So you want to kind of throw those.
So far, not so bad, but we'll see the free response question. This was from a free response, but some of them are kind of interesting on how you block them or how you choose to do the blocking.
Yeah, they're
So
fun.
we'll show you some examples of that.
Okay, so we're going to give you guys a shot. So researchers here believe that a new drug called Bone Builder,
Oh, yeah.
big on bones today, will bones heal after, I think it was supposed to be, will heal bones after children have broken or fractured a bone.
Will help heal bones.
Yes, will help heal bones. Okay. After children have broken or fractured a bone. The researchers believe that Bone Builder will work differently on bone breaks than bone fractures.
Okay.
Someone needs
Fracture is just a crack, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't a break a fracture? But, okay.
I think maybe fracture is just a crack in the bone.
You can tell
versus
this is why we're not doctors.
like my collarbone. We won't get into this now, but man, one time I just totally snapped it, and as opposed to just a crack. Yeah, it was a little painful.
All right, so Bone Builder were used in conjunction with traditional casts. So to test the impact of Bone Builder on bones healing, the researcher will recruit 18 children with bone breaks and 30 children with bone fractures. Design an appropriate experiment to determine if Bone Builder will help bones heal, and then draw a diagram that shows how blocking would be used.
Mr. Lewis, how many blocks are you envisioning?
2.
Cool. Are we going to leave it at that?
I am.
All right. So give a brief description of how you design it, and then a diagram helps show a lot. Okay.
Mhm.
So take a look at the tomato diagram. You got Mr. Lewis's diagram also. That should be kind of help you do it.
Yeah.
All right. That's it.
Okay. See you tomorrow.